Good timing. Give me.
Okay, did you push that button? She did. Welcome to Genealogy class number 4. We have established the timeline and the sequence from the other 3 classes, from Adam to David. We're going to pick the story up tonight with David, with King David. And the wife that was in the lineage of King David was, David had how many wives? Anybody know how many wives David had? I think he had 10 wives. But the one that was in the lineage was Bathsheba.
She was the wife of Uriah.
The Hittite.
Okay. The wife of Uriah the Hittite became David's wife. And from this union was born 2 sons.
Solomon.
He was actually born about 4 sons, but the 2 that were in the lineage was Absalom was another mother. You know the other son that was in the lineage?
Nahor. No, Nathan.
Nathan was the other son. Okay? Nathan's line is considered the lineage of
Mary.
Mary. And Solomon's line is considered the lineage of
Joseph.
Joseph. Okay?
Is that sweet?
That's sweet. Let's see here. Or do I have some more paper? Did you find some?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, so David and Bathsheba, Nathan is actually older. He's actually probably the firstborn. And Solomon is, I don't know, third or fourth son. But Solomon was chosen for the kingdom. Now in this we have, in the book of, in your Dake's notes in Chronicles, or Kings, either one, you go to page 375, is that it?
I've got a different
Okay,
date than you.
let me see here. 1 Kings chapter 12.
Okay.
You should find a list of the kings there. Here we go. Okay, this is the kings. These are the kings of Israel, aren't they? Okay, hang on. I got another list for you. Just don't read that one yet. Let's go to your notes on Genesis. Here, you can, it's on page 60 here, but I don't know where to be in yours. I'm buried back in the notes section. It talks about the dispensations, links of dispensations. So you may have passed over that list over there, I saw. What's that list?
Waters hastened, God set bounds, all fish destroyed.
Okay, okay, you gotta go past that.
This way?
Yeah, keep going. Keep going. I don't know exactly where it's listed at in that version because of they have rearranged some of the notes. Any place where it shows the list of kings and such.
Now, where's that? Oh, yes.
Okay, it starts with, who to start with? David?
Saul.
Saul, okay. So Saul was king in front of David. But then after David came Solomon.
Yes.
Okay, then who else was king?
Rehoboam.
Rehoboam. Spell it.
Rehoboam.
Okay, that's Solomon's son. Okay, in his days the kingdom was divided. Right? He said, I'll not rend it out of your hand, Solomon, but I'm going to take it away from your son. Okay, so Rehoboam was king of what we call the nation of Judah. Because the tribe of Judah was still here. Okay, David was from Judah. Solomon from Judah, Rehoboam's from Judah. The rest of the nation became the 10, what we call the 10 tribes. We call it the kingdom of Israel. So this is the 10 tribes. Okay? And we're going to list their kings in a little bit. So going through Judah, we got Rehoboam.
Then we got Abijam.
You spell that?
Abijam.
Okay.
Asa.
Asa.
Jehoshaphat.
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 Jehoshaphat. AT.
Yeah.
Okay, Jehoshaphat. Okay.
Jehoram.
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 O-R-M.
Oram.
O-R-A-M. Okay.
Ahaziah. Ahaziah.
Okay.
Ahaziah. Then you got Athaliel.
How do you spell that one?
Athaliah. Happened to be a queen.
Oh, that's the queen, Athaliah.
Then you got Joash.
Okay. Okay.
Amaziah. Amaziah.
Okay.
Azariah. Azariah. And then Jotham. Yes.
Okay.
Ahaz. Hezekiah,
H-E,
C-E, Kaya. Then Manasseh, M-A-N-A, S-S-E-H. M-A-N-A-S-S-E-H.
E-H?
Yes.
Okay.
Ammon,
Who?
Hammond.
Haman.
Ammon, Ammon,
Hammond.
A-M-O-N.
Okay.
M-O-O-N, that spells Ammon.
Haman. Okay.
Josiah, J-O-S, Aya. Jehoahaz,
Yeah.
Jehoahaz. Pronounce that name 3 times fast.
Jehoahaz, okay.
Jehoiakim, Jehoiakim, Kim, K-I-M.
Okay.
Let me shorten that to Kim. Zedekiah,
Zedekiah.
everybody knows how to spell Zedekiah.
Z-E-D-E-K-I-A-K-H.
Yes.
That's the end, isn't it?
Yep.
Okay. Now, go over to First Kings, chapter 12.
Well, it was in the notes for Genesis.
No K. No K on the
I got it.
page. You got the list? Okay. Now these are the lists of the kings of Israel. Okay? So we had Rehoboam, and the first king of Israel was
Jeroboam.
Jeroboam.
Where are you getting these?
This is on the notes.
Well, this is just in the
First
notes.
Kings.
It's not a
compilation of what is in First Kings.
What's in the Nate Bible where he's combed this out? You'd have to go through Kings and Chronicles to get these lists, okay? But they're all there. How do you spell Jeroboam?
J-E-R-O, Boam, B-O-A-M.
Okay, Jeroboam. Okay?
Nadab,
Nadab.
Baasha, B-A-A-S-H-A. Elah, E-L-A-H. Zimri, Z-I-M-R-I. Omri, O-M-R-I. Ahab,
Okay?
Ahaziah, A-H-A-H-A-Z-I-A-H. Jehoram, J-E-H-O-R-A-M. Jehu, J-E-H-U. Jehoahaz, Jehoahaz. And Joash. Jeroboam the second, O-B-O-A-M. Yeah, Jeroboam 2.
Because the first one will be Jeroboam 1 up here. Okay?
Zechariah,
V-E-C-H-A-R-I-A-H.
Z-A-C-H-A-R-I-A-H. A-R-I-A-H.
Z-A-C-H, Zachariah. Z-A-C-H.
Okay?
Shallum. S-H-A-L-L-U-M. For 1 month. S-H-A-L-L-U-M.
Now, what was that? Oh, Z-A-C-H, Zachariah, Z-A-C.
And you got Menahem. M-E-N-A-H-E-M.
E-M.
Yeah.
And
Pekahiah.
You got some names, ain't they?
Name the name of my chickens. P-E-K-A-H-I-A-H. And then Pekah. P-E-K-A-H. Hoshea.
Hoshea or Hoshea?
H-O-S-H-E-A. Zechariah was only 6 months, and Shallum was only 1 month. I think there was some civil unrest in there.
Yes, there was. Is that the last one?
That's it.
That's it. Okay. Now,
This was 241 years. The other one
241 is for what? For all of us?
for the Israel until they became the lost tribes of Israel.
241 years.
Whereas, yes, the other list took 513 years. The first 3 kings on this list each reigned for 40 years, but the longest reign on the other list was 22 years.
On the Israel?
No, 24 years, 28. Oh, there's a 41. Jeroboam 2,
okay.
Was it Jeroboam 2 is now what, 100 years?
41 years. Most of the rest of them was a short reign.
How long was Solomon? How long did he reign?
Solomon was 40 years.
40 years.
And Rehoboam? Steve, 40 years?
17.
And
Manasseh reigned for 55.
Manasseh,
So we end up with 513 years for the kingdom of Judah. And I guess that goes all the way back to Saul. For that time period. And only 241 years for the kingdom of Israel. Now, what we want to get to tonight is 2 kings, the king of Judah and the king of Israel that was contemporary. Now these were short-lived, these were longer reigns. Do you know which 2 kings, the first 2 kings, past these 2 that were really the contemporary?
What do you mean by contemporary?
They reigned at the same time. One's reigned in Jerusalem, the other's reigned in Israel. The 2 famous kings that were contemporary.
Zimri and Omri.
No, it was Ahab and Jehoshaphat. Okay? Ahab and Jehoshaphat ruled side by side. There's a lot of interesting stories in the Bible about Ahab and Jehoshaphat. Jehoshaphat's the one who remember the story about he inquired of the Lord of how to go to battle.
Yeah.
And they said, put the praisers in front of the army.
yeah.
Okay? And so, Ahab, that's the famous Ahab of Elijah. Remember when Elijah outrun the chariot? When he called the rain back down, he slew and Ahab's wife. So we end up over here now with Jehoshaphat.
Is that Ahab and Jezebel?
Ahab and Jezebel.
For the daughter of Ahab was Jezebel.
Jehoshaphat and Ahab. And Ahab's wife was Jezebel. Jezebel. Anybody know what country Jezebel was from?
No. Where?
She was a foreigner. She was
Where Jezebel?
She was from Zidon. She was a Zidonian.
From wicked woman land.
He was a wicked woman. Okay? So we're at the point of Ahab and Jehoshaphat. Now this is where the story gets real interesting again. Page 32. For those of you on the YouTube, we're studying out of this book that I wrote on genealogy. It's available if you'd like to order a copy. So the kingdom was now two. There was Israel and Judah. The lineage of Christ, however, remained with the descendants of David and the kings of Judah. So this was considered the lineage of Christ on this side. Okay? This is the lineage. Right here. Coming down this line. What tribe were these guys all from? The kings of Israel. You know what tribe these guys were from?
The 10 lost tribes?
Ephraim. Ephraim. Jeroboam was of the house of Ephraim. So these guys all descended from Ephraim. You see, you remember when the birthright was given to Joseph, and it was Ephraim and Manasseh.
Right.
Okay? They were the two descendants of Joseph. So Ephraim's from Joseph. They have the birthright, and Manasseh was, I believe, was the firstborn, but Ephraim was promised to be greater than Manasseh, and that's where all the kings and the rulership came from, was out of Ephraim. Because remember, he had to cross his arms when he blessed him, because he brought him up for this blessing with the oldest at the right hand, and Jacob crossed his arms, and Joseph says, "Oh, no, you got your hand on the wrong." He said, "No, I know what I'm doing." Okay? Because he was prophesying who would be greater. And the younger would be greater. So, the image of Christ, however, remained with servants of David, the descendants of David, the kings of Judah. We shall now, however, turn our attention to the kingdom of Israel, find another interesting twist to the story. Ahab, the son of Omri, did evil in the sight of the Lord above all that were before him. And it came to pass, as if it had been a light thing for him to walk in the sins of Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, which he took to wife. Jezreel, that he walked in the sins of Jeroboam, the son of Nahab, if that had been a light enough thing, that he also took to wife Jezebel, the daughter of Isabel, king of the Zidonians, and went and served Baal and worshipped him. So here we find that Ahab takes Jezebel of the Zidonians to be his wife. Okay? This is where Jezebel enters the picture. We've all heard of the infamous Ahab and Jezebel, but the rest of the story concerning the genealogy is not so well known. In the 5th year of Jehoram, the son of Ahab, king of Israel, Jehoshaphat, then being king of Judah, Jehoram, the son of Jehoshaphat, king of Judah, began to reign. 32 years old was he began to reign. He reigned 8 years in Jerusalem, and he walked in the way of the kings of Israel, as did the house of Ahab. For the daughter of Ahab was his wife, and he did evil in the sight of the Lord. Okay?
Mary's sister?
No, distant cousin. This
Jehoram
guy gets married to
Jehoram,
his daughter.
okay,
Oh, Ahab.
there you go. You got it. So Ahab and Jezebel have a daughter, and it's Athaliah.
Okay, where you put Athaliah at?
Athaliah marries
Ahab.
Jehoram. This is Judah. Over here. Over here we have Israel. Jehoshaphat was pretty much a good guy, but his son Jehoshaphat and Ahab get together and in an attempt to reunite the kingdom, hey, why don't your kids and my kids get married? We may reunite the kingdoms. Won't that sound like a noble ambition? But Jezebel was very wicked. Ahab wasn't so hot himself, and they produced a daughter that was quite a piece of work. Okay, this daughter marries Jehoram. Okay, so now Jehoram and Athaliah have reunited the kingdoms in theory for a time. They got the potential to bring this thing together. Oh, it looks like maybe God's doing something in spite of all their wickedness. Well, let's keep reading. He walked in the ways of the kings of Israel. So instead of following after David, his father, he starts walking in the ways of Israel, who is deep in idolatry. Okay? So the daughter of Ahab was his wife, and he did evil in the sight of the Lord. Let's look closely at the above scriptures. Jehoram, the son of Jehoshaphat, king of Judah, began to reign. He reigned 8 years, and the daughter of Ahab was his wife. Ahab, the king of Israel, and Jehoshaphat, the king of Judah, decided to do a good thing. Remember how we talk about the difference between a good thing and a right thing, and a godly thing? In the custom of kings, they would keep the peace, show goodwill, with the idea of reuniting Israel and Judah by uniting their children in marriage. Ahab's daughter would marry Jehoshaphat's son. What a grand plan. However, he did evil in the sight of the Lord. Instead of him converting her, she converted him. How many times does some Christian marry a non-Christian thinking they're going to convert the non-Christian after they get married, and it goes the other way? Okay? That's why the Bible said don't be unequally yoked with unbelievers. Okay? Now Jehoshaphat slept with his fathers and was buried with his fathers in the city of David, and Jehoram his son reigned in his stead. And he had brethren, the sons of Jehoshaphat, Azariah, Jehiel, and Zechariah, and Azariah, and Michael, and Shephatiah. These were the sons of Jehoshaphat, king of Israel. So how many were there? There was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he's got 6 brothers. So this guy, Jehoram, has 6 brothers. And their father gave them great gifts of silver and gold and precious things, fenced cities in Judah, but the kingdom he gave to Jehoram, because he was the firstborn. Now when Jehoram was risen up to the kingdom of his father, he strengthened himself and slew all of his brethren with the sword, and divers also of the princes of Israel. This guy comes to power,
He kills his own brothers.
and this guy kills all of his brothers and several other princes
Of Israel.
who were potential heirs of the kingdom. And the heirs of the kingdom, and the lineage of Christ basically is now all on his shoulders, reduced to one, and he is an evil man. It don't look good. So just as Solomon's foreign wives turned his heart, Jehoram was not able to withstand his wife's persuasion. Remember, Ahab was her father? And that was bad enough, but Jezebel was Ahab's wife. And that was the mother. So we now have Jezebel wreaking havoc in the kingdom of Israel. And now Jezebel's daughter begins to attempt to destroy the kingdom of Judah. She's no doubt the influence, see, that has pulled him into idolatry, and now he's killing off all of his brothers and anyone else who might be heir to the throne. Jehoram rises to power, kills all other heirs to the throne. The promise of God to David is almost destroyed. By him. And he is the last one left with the throne rights. But he begins, what does he do? He begins to have children. Moreover, the Lord stirred up against Jehoram the spirit of the Philistines, 2 Chronicles 21, and of the Arabians that were near the Ethiopians, and they came to Judah and break into it and carried away all the substance that was found in the king's house, and his sons also, and his wives, and there was never left a son to him save Jehoahaz, the youngest of his sons. So Jehoahaz the youngest is left after this battle. And after all this, the Lord smote him in his bowels with an incurable disease. Came to pass in the process of time, the end of 2 years, his bowels fell out by reason of sickness. So he died of sore diseases, and the people made no burning for him like the burning of his fathers. 32 years old was he when he began to reign. He reigned Jerusalem 8 years, departed without being desired. Howbeit they buried him in the city of David, but not in the sepulchres of the kings. And the inhabitants of Jerusalem made Azariah, his youngest son, king in his stead. For the men that came with the Arabians to the camp slain all the eldest. So
Wait a second.
There's a conflict.
okay.
Yeah.
Now, so what you end up, this is where you get in, it gets tricky because a lot of these guys carry two names.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
So Jehoahaz is Ahaziah.
Ahaziah. Okay, it's the same guy. Okay, because he's the youngest. And he's reigning. All right? So, Ahaziah, the son of Jehoram, king of Judah, reigned. 42 years old was Ahaziah when he began to reign. He reigned 1 year in Jerusalem. His mother's name was also Adaliah, the daughter of Omri. He also walked in the ways of the house of Ahab, for his mother was counselor to do wickedly. Now it called his mother Adaliah.
Now wait a second. This is saying that Adaliah is the daughter of Omri.
Okay.
She was married to Ahab, who was also the son of Omri.
Okay.
Ahab married his sister.
No.
No?
No, that's his father, her father-in-law. She's
Because
called
she was from...
Ahab and Jezebel. Okay? Jezebel's the mother, Ahab's the father, she's the daughter, and she's called the daughter of Omri. but she's directly the daughter of Ahab.
But Omri's her grandpa.
Is the grandpa. Okay? This is, see, a lot of times in the scripture, this is where it takes a lot of study and research to iron these discrepancies out, because sometimes they talk about a father and it's a grandfather or a great-grandfather. You know? Sometimes it says he did not walk in the ways of his father David. Well, and then maybe several generations back. So you have to be familiar enough with the subject, research it to come to the right conclusions, because a casual reading will lead you astray. Okay? So now Athaliah is the name of the wife of Jehoram, and she was the mother of Ahaziah. Okay? So now he begins to reign, and that makes her the queen mother. So she in essence is queen behind the scenes, advising him and pulling the strings, just like Jezebel told Ahab what to do. Athaliah tells Jehoram what to do, and now is telling the son what to do. And she is the one pulling the strings because of the demonic influence of Jezebel carried over into this lineage. Okay? Athaliah, okay? Mother's name was Athaliah, the daughter of Omri, king of Israel, and he walked in the ways of the house of Ahab, and did evil in the sight of the Lord as did the house of Ahab, for he was son-in-law of the house of Ahab. So see, there it specifically tells you he's son-in-law, which means that he's married Ahab's daughter, Athaliah. Okay? So,
This is his mother.
and now, he going, Athaliah is quite a piece of work. He walked in the house of Ahab, and he was out of the Lord his house of Ahab first. He was son-in-law of the house of Ahab. Okay? Well, that doesn't mean that no. But she was in reality a granddaughter of Omri, was the actual daughter of Ahab Jezebel. These were both tools of Satan to afflict the children of God. Azariah was Jehoram's and Athaliah's son. He reigns in the stead of his father, but Athaliah, the daughter of Jezebel, is the queen, and is Satan's planned time bomb, waiting for the chance to destroy the lineage of Christ. Remember what did Jezebel do when Elijah, the prophet of God, was standing against the false prophets of Baal? And Elijah says, "I'll have your head, boy." And she was ready to kill the prophet of God. And Athaliah is willing to kill the kings of Israel. Okay? Jehu becomes commissioned by Elisha to destroy the house of Ahab, particularly in Israel. And Elisha sends a young prophet to anoint him to be the next king in Israel. Okay? Now his commission was not to go to the kingdom of Judah. He was in the house of Israel. Destroy the house of Ahab. Okay? When King Jehoram was returned to be healed in Jezreel of the wounds which the Syrians had given him, Jehoram had been in this battle. He got wounded. He fought with Hazael, king of Syria. Jehu said, "If it be your minds, let none go forth and escape out of the city. Go tell it Jezreel." So Jehu rode in a chariot, went to Jezreel, for Jehoram lay there. And as Ahaziah, the king of Judah, was come down to see Jehoram. Ahaziah makes a trip to see Jehoram.
You got Ahaziah on both sides.
Well, sometimes they had names. Now, you're the one that told me that.
I know.
He comes to see Jehoram, who has gotten wounded. He has left his country to go over here to visit his brother-in-law, in essence, who's sick. It's a family thing to do. He's wounded, he's injured, he goes over to see him. But Jehu is coming to kill him. This old boy gets in the wrong place at the wrong time. Okay, becomes the point of the story. Okay, King Joram was returned. King Ahaziah, king of Judah, was come down to see Jehoram. Without all the gory details, we see that Jehu is anointed to be the next king. Jehoram is the current king of Israel, wounded in battle with the Syrians. Ahaziah, the king of Judah, goes to visit Jehoram in his recovery, where thus this is his mother, Adaliah's brother. Okay, so he'd been making his uncle. Adaliah and Jehoram are both children of Ahab and Jezebel. When Ahaziah is visiting his wounded uncle, Jehu comes to destroy the house of Ahab and take the kingdom of Israel for himself. Ahaziah, the king of Judah, gets caught in the wrong place at the wrong time and is killed in the process. This gives his mother, Queen Adaliah, the daughter of Ahab and Jezebel, the chance to seize the kingdom for herself. She was the queen mother, and now, all of a sudden, where you had Adaliah down here, queen, she becomes the ruler, because this little boy gets killed. Now she is queen. She is descended from Ahab and Jezebel, and she is now queen of Judah. That just ain't right. Oh, it gets worse. When Adaliah, okay, she had the chance to seize the kingdom for herself, and she does. Look what she does next. When Adaliah, the mother of Ahaziah, saw that her son was dead, she arose and destroyed all the royal seed of the house of Judah. So she
kills all of her grandchildren.
She kills her grandchildren. She convinces her husband to kill his brothers. Now she kills all the remaining grandchildren. You wonder why God destroyed these people? They were getting out of hand. But what was the devil trying to do? He's trying to cut off the lineage of Christ. Okay? So she arose and destroyed all the seed royal of the house of Judah. But Jehoshabeth, the daughter of the king, so this guy, Ahaziah, has a daughter, Jehoshabeth, and what does she do? Took Joash, the son of Ahaziah, and stole him from among the king's sons that were slain, and put him and his nurse in a bedchamber. So Jehoshabeth, the daughter of the king of Jehoram, the wife of Jehoiada, the priest, for she was the sister of Ahaziah, hid him from Adaliah, so that she slew him not. And he was with him, hid in the house of God 6 years, and Adaliah reigned over the land. So Adaliah's own daughter, who was the brother to Ahaziah, okay, takes one of his sons, gathers him up, and carries him to safety. And how does she do it? Where does she take him? She takes him to the temple. Because she is married to the priest. She is married to the high priest.
And Adaliah is not going to be seen dead in the temple.
And Adaliah is not going to go to the temple. She didn't have any authority there. They got temple guards. They got power. They got the protection of God. She takes him to the temple, and she reigns 8 years. And it's Adaliah's own daughter that saves the one remaining son to preserve the house of Judah. It's amazing. Okay? So get this. Adaliah begins to kill all the remaining princes, and they are her own grandsons. Her daughter, and of course she trusted her daughter. She was her mother's daughter. She expected her daughter to be on her side. But she was married to the priest.
Joash. Was it Joash the priest?
Jehodiah, the priest. Okay? She was married to the high priest, Jehodiah, who rescues and hides the young prince, Prince Joash, who is then protected in the temple and raised by the priest while Adaliah reigns for 6 years. The one child was the only one left to carry the kingship of David. Satan was again down to one in his attempt to destroy the lineage of Christ. So God was able to preserve the lineage one more time. This high priest, Jehodiah, was brother-in-law to Azariah and uncle to Joash and son-in-law to Adaliah. He's a son-in-law to Adaliah, the evil queen whose mother is Jezebel.
Hopefully it's him.
Being a king or prince in the house of David in the lineage of the coming Son of God was dangerous indeed. Now 3 times in a row, the house of David is left with only one kingly heir. Once under Jehoram, who kills his own brothers. Then the Arabians come and kill Jehoram's sons except for Ahaziah. Then Adaliah kills her own grandsons except for Joash. 3 times in a row, we were down to 1. When Joash is 8 years old, Jehodiah, the high priest, organizes a coup, rallies the priests and the people against Adaliah, unveiling the rightful king Joash. Adaliah and those who follow her are destroyed, the kingdom is saved, and the house of David is saved from extinction once again. Jezebel was another daughter of Ham and Canaan, the Zidonians. So once again, Ham is grafted in, Canaanites are grafted back in, and they're grafted in directly to the house of Israel and Ephraim. But then she becomes mother to Jehoaz or Ahaziah and grandmother to Joash.
So they're grafted in both sides.
And Joash reigns at 8 years old, becomes king, and the priest sitting there with his hand on his shoulder guides him, and he becomes a good king.
I lost that page.
Do you know how long he was king for?
Oh,
He was king for like 52 years, I think. How long was
Yeah, I
it?
do have it. Which one?
Joash.
Judah won up Israel.
Joash. 16 years.
He only reigned 16 years.
No, it's gotta be the other one. So, 2 Joash,
Oh, you're on the kings
Oh,
of Israel. You got to be on
yeah.
the kings of Judah. You got to be back in the
back one page.
Genesis page. So it came to pass, as if it had been a light thing for him to walk in the sins of Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, that he took Jezebel, the daughter of Jezebel, king of the Zidonians, went and served Baal and worshipped him. Who would have thought that Jezebel and Adaliah would be ancestors of the Messiah? Do you see that God...
40 years.
How long?
40.
40 years.
40 years before.
Joash.
Joash for 40 years. So God is making Jesus a representative of all mankind, not just the house of Israel or just the house of Judah. The house of Israel and Judah is grafted back together, And in spite of their wickedness and Satan's attempt to destroy the lineage, it is preserved through Joash, the third one-time heir, in order for the lineage of Christ to stay in the earth. Okay? So he is not just Israel's Messiah, he is my Messiah, he is your Messiah. His lineage included the best of us and the worst of us. And you might say the best of us wasn't always that good. David was an adulterer and a murderer in essence. Okay? You think pretty highly of David. He was repentant at least. Okay? But we've also, now we've got people like Jezebel and Ahab and Omri and all of these kings of Israel that led them into idolatry are grafted now into the kingdom of Judah and the lineage of Christ. All of us have ancestors who had a part in making his birth a reality, and Jesus is related to all of us. Okay? He referred to himself as the Son of Man over and over, the Son of Man. He is actually related to all of us, okay, as the Son of Man. Thou hast ascended on high, thou hast led captivity captive, thou hast received gifts from men, for men, and yea, for the rebellious also, that the Lord God might dwell among them. Yea, the rebellious also, and he is not ashamed to call us brethren. The question is will we acknowledge him? Again, this is quoted in Ephesians. Wherefore he saith, when he ascended on high, he led captivity captive, gave gifts unto men. Now that he ascended, what is it that he also descended first into the lower parts of the earth? He that descended is the same also that ascended far up above all heavens, that he might fill all things. And he gave some apostles, some prophets, some evangelists, some pastors and teachers, for the perfecting of the saints, for the work of the ministry, for the edifying of the body of Christ, till we all come into the unity of the faith and the knowledge of the Son of God, to a perfect man, to the measure of the stature of the fullness of Christ. We are all brethren with Christ, even after the flesh, but unless we receive him by the Spirit, it does not profit.
I've read that scripture 1,000 times. I never heard that part.
Which part?
We're all brethren. Christ.
Oh, that was my words. That wasn't out of the scripture.
Oh, that's why I never saw it.
That's why you never saw it there before.
Okay.
It might be Jim 3:7. But anyway, we are all brethren with Christ, even after the flesh. But unless we receive him by the Spirit, it will not profit. Then one said to him, Behold, my mother and my brethren stand without. Thy mother and thy brethren stand without, desiring to speak with thee. And he answered and said, Who is my mother, and who are my brethren? And he stretched forth his hand toward the disciples, and said, Behold, my mother and my brethren, for whosoever shall do the will of my Father which is in heaven, the same as my brother, sister, and mother. For those of us who do receive him, not only is he pleased to call us brother, but we are also called sons of God. For as many as received him, to them gave he power to become the sons of God, even to them that believe on his name. For it became him for whom are all things, and by whom are all things, in bringing many sons to glory, to make the captain of their salvation perfect through sufferings. For both he that sanctifieth and they who are sanctified are all of one. For which cause he is not ashamed to call them brethren, saying, I will declare thy name to my brethren. In the midst of the church will I sing praise unto thee. And again I will put my trust in him. And again, behold, I and the children which God hath given me. For as much then as the children are partakers of the flesh and blood, he also himself likewise took part of the same, that through death he might destroy him that had the power of death, that is, the devil, and deliver him who through the fear of death were all their lifetime subject to bondage. For verily he took not on him the nature of angels. He took on him the seed of Abraham. Wherefore in all things it behooved him to be made like unto his brethren, that he might be a merciful and faithful high priest in things pertaining to God, to make reconciliation for the sins of the people. So did you catch that Ahab and therefore the preceding kings of Israel are now grafted in? And what tribe were the kings of Israel from?
Judah.
Ephraim?
Ephraim. And that's found in 1 Kings 11:26, where it says, Jehoram the son of Nabat, an Ephrathite of Zedra, Solomon's servant, whose mother's name was Zerah, a widow woman, he lifted up his hand against the king. And so that's who was given the 10 tribes. And he was from the tribe of Ephraim. Okay, so Ephraim and the house of Joseph are now grafted in through Ahab, of all people. This reaches back to Egypt, where Ephraim was half Egyptian. His mother was the daughter of the high priest of Egypt, or of a high priest of Egypt. And if the pattern of Israel was any indication, then the pharaohs of Egypt are no doubt represented here as well. Notice the high priest was marrying the king's daughter in Israel, and here a priest's daughter is given to Joseph, second ruler in Egypt. This idea of high priests and kings intermarrying was common in the ancient world, okay? So this also makes Joseph's mother, Rachel, now part of the lineage as well. See, Leah was the mother of Judah. But now, because Ephraim is grafted in, now we can definitely say Rachel is also in the lineage of Christ. Okay? So as we proceed down the lineage of kingly house of David, we will come next to Uzziah, and we will save that for next week, because he was the king that became leprous, was struck with leprosy, because he was trying to intrude into the priest's office. Okay?
He's got another name. It's Azariah. It's Uzziah.
Uzziah? Yeah, we'll have to go back and trace that and make sure.